Hi, folks. I get a lot of questions about how to get data out of Arena version 16.2 and higher, given that they've really changed the interface and the way data are presented at the end of models relative to older versions of Arena that you see represented in textbooks on Arena and examples that have been published on Arena. So I wanted to show you how the fresh way to get data out of Arena. Now, to do so, I have borrowed a sample model that is embedded with Arena in their examples, an assembly line model, which I'm going to open up in Arena. So this is a student version of Arena. This is Arena version 16.2, but this should apply to many of the newer versions of Arena as well if you've downloaded later versions of it. But here's what the assembly line looks like here. If I were to run this, then I'm going to see things start moving very, very slowly. As you can see down here, this has been configured to run through 10 replications. So I can speed this up. I can hit fast forward. Or if I want it to run really fast, I can go through the run tab and click a batch run, and it almost immediately hits its 10th replication, and it asks me if I'd like to see the results. Now, if I accidentally hit no, then I can always get back there by going to the reports panel in the project bar here and click on model statistics. Now, in old versions of Arena, this would bring up an embedded version of Crystal reports that Rockwell Automation had licensed to run inside their program to process these data. They've completely overhauled that in version 16.1 or so, and then made it required in 16.2 that the data would be processed through an Excel-based front end, which is why it by default opens up Excel. Now, if it's the first time you've opened this, you will likely get a security warning here. And that's because this isn't just your standard Excel-based spreadsheet. If I go back to the folder where these files are stored in, now you can see this was the file, the DOE file. This .p file is sort of like a compiled version of the model file that we built in Arena. And it also created this DB file, which is actually where all of the data from the replications are stored. It's in a database that's in there. That database is not immediately human readable, and so it needs a front end. So before it was this Crystal Reports front end that allowed you to interrogate that database. Now it's this Excel file. Now notice it's an XLSM file, M for macro. It doesn't actually store the data in this little spreadsheet. This little spreadsheet has codes in it that allow it to connect to this database file and then display the data inside the spreadsheet. So if you're using this, you've got to sort of trust Rockwell Automation and hit enable content, which will tell you that you're okay with Excel running those scripts. They're embedded inside this Excel file, which will then load that data from that database into here. And so after you do that, if you go to this project information sheet down here, you can see that you'll have the proper model here loaded, and you'll have the proper run date. So it won't look empty anymore. That's because I had to hit that enable content. Then across here, you've got a bunch of these tabs. So one of this across replication summary, this shows you the average of the average information that's collected across each replication. So there are 10 replications that were run. And if we come back to this one, if I first go to this discrete time stats by rep, then inside here, I can see that this collects stats at the end of every one of those 10 replications. And so there's a replication column, and then for every replication, it has the measure that it was taking. So here there's an enter the belt queue in there, and that enter the belt queue, every entity that sat on that queue, you can keep track of how long they waited. And so at the end of replication 1, there were 157 entities that used that queue. And those 157 entities, on average, spent this small amount of wait time on that queue. And so you can average those wait times up, those 10 numbers there. And if I go back to the across replications, there's my enter the belt queue, and there's my average of replication averages. So notice that says 0.0016. If I go to this discrete time here, and I highlight these 10, and I look down here at Excel's calculated it for me, it's matches, 0.0016. So in the across replication summary, it not only shows me that average, but it also calculates a 95% confidence interval based on the standard deviation it estimates from those 10 numbers. So it calculates standard deviation. It knows that there were 10 replications. I think it might even say 10 somewhere in here. And then across those 10 replications, then it is able to then calculate that 95% confidence interval half width. So this plus or minus this gives you your 95% confidence interval. And you can repeat that for all of the discrete time stats here. So you see for these entities, it calculates a bunch of these cost variables. And those cost variables then have this is across the 150 entities for replication 1, you get these averages. Across the 167 for replication 2, you get these averages, and so on. And then those averages are averaged up across the 10 replications to get these numbers, and also these half widths and these standard deviations. So that's for the discrete time stats. So there's also continuous time stats. So things like WIP, the work in progress, the number waiting at any instant of time, the instantaneous utilization, all these instantaneous variables that can have time averages. So integrals underneath these curves divided by those durations. That's what we mean by a time average. You calculate these averages. And you don't get half widths very often with any of these per replication ones because these replications don't run long enough to generate independent batches. So at the per replication stat level, the half widths are insufficient because it can't generate these batches, but you do get the half widths across here. So across these, you get these half widths because these half widths are taken across the 10 replications. So as long as you have multiple replications, you can calculate a half width. It might be a giant half width if it's very few numbers of replications, but at least it's a half width. So we've got our discrete time, we've got our continuous time, we've got our counters. If you go further here, you've also got output stats, things that have been flagged as outputs. All of these are tagged with their replication, so you know what their per replication values were, in this case, at the end of the replication for these output stats. We don't use frequency stats in this particular model, but those also would show up here. Everything gets aggregated in this one tab across replication summary. Where? Well, it's a very wide sheet. So these are the discrete time or tally stats. If I scroll over, then I've got my continuous time or time persistent stats. If I go further, I've got the counters. If I go even further, I've got my output stats. And then finally, the aggregation of those frequency stats shows up here. So you just have to remember to scroll left and right down this giant across replication summary to find those stats. Now, if you don't like this Excel one, or maybe you don't have Excel running on your machine, it's just not available to you, there is one other option. And if you can actually, I think, make this in your setup here for your run control, I'm sorry, not your run control, in your setup here for your reports, you can actually have it default to this other option, the SIMAN Summary Report instead. But even if it's not set like there, you can go back to your folder and there's a .out file that's generated. Rather than having a front end for this database, the SIMAN, which is the underlying simulation engine inside Arena, dumps this text file out. So I can right click on this text file. I can say open with and select Notepad or your favorite text editor. Theoretically should be able to open in Microsoft Word as well. And then what I see here is a very long file. So I scroll to the bottom here, and it is separated up first by all of the per replication stats. And so this first chunk of the text file are all of those stats just for replication 1. So this is all the same stuff I saw in Excel, just tagged for replication 1. Once that finishes, I've got all of those stats for replication 2. And it goes on and on and on until eventually I've got all of my stats for replication 10. And then after that final replication, then I've got my sim stats, my output summary, which is like what's shown on that first tab of that Excel spreadsheet. But this is only showing you the outputs here. So it's not showing you the average for everything, all of the discrete time stats, the tally stats, all the time persistent stats, and so on. So it's a little limited by default, but it is a way at least to get going, and you do have access to all of that at the per replication level for sure here. There are lots of other ways to get data out too. You can manually code up ways for Arena to dump things out to files of your own choice for you to do your stats on them later. But this is a way very quickly for any model to have Arena generate lots of data for you. And that new Excel-based front end to that database, that XLSM file here that connects to this database, that opens that up, that ends up being actually not a terrible way to get that data out. You just have to remember, scroll far to the right on that across replications, and don't forget to look at all those tabs down there. All right, I didn't want to keep this video too long, so we're at about 11 minutes here, so I think I will cut it off there, but hopefully that will help you in using Arena 16.2 and newer versions of Arena that look very different from the Crystal Reports-based output tools that were in older versions of Arena that you might see in textbooks and other tutorials that are out there.